Hello everyone, how you doing? It's Jordan here, back in with this week's update on all the physical Switch releases. We're in the second half of September, the 19th until the 23rd, and I tell you, we've got an interesting week coming up. Starting off with the DioField Chronicle. This is a game I'm really excited about, but also a little bit worried. This looks like a really good strategy RPG, a brand new IP from Square Enix, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of buzz or publicity about it. It looks great, but no one's talking about it. Come on, look at it. It looks nice. I want it to do well. I need this in my life. I don't have time to play it, but I want to play it. It looks like it's going to be a fine holdover until the next Fire Emblem game comes around. I love the technological mix of swords and shields with an almost World War I vibe to go with it. It's weird, but I'm all in. There is a standard edition, and Square Enix on their web store have a ridiculously priced collector's edition. I don't know if that's still available or not that it's worth it. And our executive producers Precision Play, Dane Wilkinson, Issa, Jonathan Rumor, Jennifer M, and JCross7776 have chosen this as their pick of the week. I have a question for you. Do you like otome? If you do, well, Christmas has come early, by which I mean you're gonna be skint and probably crying about if your kids are gonna be disappointed or not. Yes, against all sanity, Idea Factory and Axis Games thought it would be a great idea to release 3 huge otome on the same day, like not even a week apart. They should be 2 weeks apart. But no, otome fans are going to be blowing $150 in one day, and that's not including the limited editions available. Let's start with Amnesia Memories. Why? I can't remember. Oh wait, because there's already a review for it over on VN Paradise. Go watch it after this video. If you're interested, this is a slightly older VM that's considered a classic in the otome genre. It was one of the early attempts to bring dude dating into the Western sphere on the Vita, and now it's getting a new release on the Switch. It has an unusual flow for an otome and does have a few rough edges, but inside is a great story with a bunch of great dudes to bang. Date. Also a mention to its fan disc, later X Crowd getting a separate physical release. This is a compilation of 2 fan discs, and I believe the first time they've been translated into English. We will have a review for this double pack 2 over on VM Paradise, but hold on a few weeks because it's been all hands on deck over on VM Paradise. We need just a little more time. And as I said, you can buy these separately, or there is a limited edition where you can buy both games together. Piofiore Episodio 1926 is perhaps the one I'm most interested. Yeah, it's still an otome, but it's wildly more serious, and I suppose, just like the original, the dating romance aspects may take a secondary role to the drama, although I will have to read the original one first, as though I have the time. We should have a review for this over on VM Paradise later this week. It just depends. I don't like to rush my writers, so if KT gets it done, then cool. If not, don't worry, it won't be too far away. And our executive producer, Cartoon Soren, has chosen this as his pick of the week. And by the way, I would like to announce that we do have a new affiliate partner. Not only can you support us with the imports from PlayAsia, but if you fancy some more like standard retail releases, then consider using our new affiliate partner, Video Games Plus. Yes, if you click our link to those guys, then it also supports us as well. Honestly, it's not anywhere near as generous as PlayAsia. Like, if you really want to support us, PlayAsia all the way. But Video Games Plus is a nice alternative. Like I said, if you just want to pick up the latest retail releases, or if you want those limited run games that they always carry, for comparison, PlayAsia actually gives us cash, which, is useful for living and things like that. We all like cash. Whereas Video Games Plus gives us in-store credit, which is not as useful, but still, I just wanted to open a nice alternative way for especially North American people to, support us in a slightly different way. If you want to pick up the DioField Chronicle, these otomes, then check the links in the description. And I did say North America, but they do offer free shipping worldwide over $80, but there's also a lot of tax in that, so yeah. PlayAsia for imports, Video Games Plus for retail releases if you live in America. Potion Permit is releasing this week. This is one of the endless amounts of cozy indie games that seem to be flying out at a rate of knots. Here you play as an altruistic chemist who arrives to help the mayor's daughter, but has to win over the town thanks to the previous chemist wrecking shit and making people more wary. He probably poisoned someone's goldfish. It looks pretty cool. Reviews seem nice enough, so if you want a more indie take on the Atelier-style gameplay, go for it. And our executive producers Viz and Boombox have chosen this as their pick of the week. Tea Time Golf is perhaps releasing physically in Europe this week. Not entirely confident on this one. Not that I would get too excited since it looks a bit bobbins. Even if you're into these cartoony arcade style golf games, I'd focus on the one that released after the direct called Easy Come, Easy Golf. That looks awesome, and I'd love a physical of that one. DreamWorks Dragons Legend of the Nine Realms is Outright Games' latest battle for your kids' cries of, "Mummy, I want that dragon game." It's a game based off a TV show, based off a movie, based off a book. Personally, I'm just waiting for the stage production version based off this video game. Then you have a stage production based off a video game based off a TV series based off a movie, and a movie based off a book. Whew! Can't wait for it to hit the West End next year. Anyways, what is there to say? Outright do a decent job of pumping out acceptable kid fodder, although they do struggle performance-wise on the Switch. Not sure if they've sorted out that in recent releases. I haven't played them, as you can probably tell. Slaycation Paradise should be releasing this week in both Europe and North America. I've mentioned this before, but then it went and decided to, not release, which I kind of expected. This looks to be a fairly run-of-the-mill twin-stick shooter that has elements of tower defense. Probably a decent enough time, but nothing you should probably kick the door down at GameStop to buy. Reserve that for BB Untina releases only. And our executive producer Grantzer has chosen this as his pick of the week. Severed Steel should be releasing this week. This is a fairly cool looking game, an FPS that's balls to the wall action. You only have one arm, so you can't reload. Instead, you lob your guns at the enemies when they're empty. I like it. And then you pick up their firearm instead and then rinse and repeat. All the while making good use of slow motion. Do this over 40 odd levels and yeah, you got yourself a decently good time. It runs well on the Switch, plays well according to reviews. Looks like a really good time. Mission Hind should be releasing in North America this week. Once an import exclusive to Japan and Asia, it's heading to North America with Nicholas. Europeans still won't be getting this one, which is a shame because it's kind of a unique game. Sure, there are plenty of chopper games on the Switch, but for the budget and effort put into them, this stands way above all the shovelware on the eShop. Take on plenty of missions in famous choppers and try not to crash. Baldo The Guardian Owl is releasing in Europe this week. It appears that North America will have to wait a short while longer. This is a heavily patched version of a game we were all dying to love. It had just about everything going for it, but when it released digitally a year or so back, it was a buggy mess and just boring to play. But I've heard it's quite a bit better now, rebalanced and fixed most of the big issues. But is it good? Well, that's a whole different question that I don't know the answer to, but I'm really interested in trying it out. If you're looking for a Zelda-style adventure, it's something you may want to check out. Alright, The Low Prince. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is getting a release via Red Art Games. Now, I should state that this is going to get a retail release early next year, so you don't need to rush out and buy it or pre-order, but I do want to mention it because, well, it's Red Art Games, I always do theirs like for Low Prince, and the pre-order bonus nabs you a soundtrack CD, which is essential for me. In North America, it's exclusive to Video Games Plus, apparently, so click our links in the description for that. In Europe, you can grab it from redartgames.com and at retail later. And remember, there's SWatch 10 for 10% off at redartgames.com. Now, I've been asking for this game since it originally released digitally. I really enjoyed Rising, perhaps slightly more than others, if you were to compare my reviews, but I found it really addictive and rather charming. A good spin-off adventure with a good story and characters. Some complain about fetch quests, but hey, that's the gameplay loop to build your town. Deal with it! I really enjoyed it and I can't wait for the main game, which is an actual proper JRPG. This is a side-scrolling action game, and our executive producers Robotech and Parsnip Coffee have chosen this as their pick of the week. And by the way, tangent, maybe you know that Eiyuden Chronicle was created by the original creators of SUIKODEN. Well, at the Tokyo Game Show, they announced SUIKODEN 1 and 2 are getting HD remakes next year, which almost brought tears to my eyes. I was in the middle of teaching a lesson when that popped up on my phone. Not the best timing. I had to tell my students to shut the smeg up for 2 minutes while I checked to see if it was legit or not. Not my most professional moment in my life. It's coming to the Switch next year, hopefully physically, and you better buy it. If you don't, I won't like you. Also, go watch my respective on Suikoden 1. Do it. It's 1 hour and 40 minutes long, but do it. You can see why you should buy this, okay? Although there's plenty of spoilers, so I don't know. Watch it and put it on silent, so just give me the view time. I need it, because it's still not monetized yet, come on. That's not all Red Art Games had up their sleeve, since they also announced that Demon Gaze Extra is getting a Western physical release in a similar manner to Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. I told you it was gonna happen, so I hope the wait was worth it. You get a reversible cover with the pre-order. It's at redartgames.com, but coming to European retail early next year and will be exclusive to videogamesplus.com in North America. You can pre-order now. Please use our links. This is a very good, if grindy, dungeon crawling RPG. It's an import exclusive up to this point, with the Asian version needed to download a patch to add English. Obviously, this won't need a download of any kind, so don't forget SWatch 10% off redartgames.com if you want it. Dicey Dungeons is Super Rare's latest Switch game, which may actually mean this triple pack that this is included in maybe their best one yet. 3 actual desirable games. This one is a rogue-like dice game with bags of creativity. Just look at that art style. It's something very interesting and different. The trailer probably doesn't do it much justice due to the minimalistic presentation. I mean, it kind of looks like a game filled with post-it notes, which is not great, but ignore the trailer, just check out the reviews. The gameplay is there to pull its weight. There are 4,000, or are there 5,000? I can't remember while I'm recording this, but there's a certain amount of copies available on Thursday. And our executive producer, God of Resin, has chosen this as his pick of the week. Valis Phantasm Collection II is up for pre-order right now at Limited Run Games. Yes, the second half of the collection that very well should have been one collection. This contains 3 retro games in the Valis series: Valis 4, Sid of Valis, and Valis the Phantasm Soldier. I was fairly lenient about the first collection, since I assumed due to rights issues they couldn't do more of the games. Well, it turns out they were just being a bit greedy. Who'd have thought a company associated with Limited Run would be a bit greedy? This limited run version is the only physical that will have English. The Japanese release won't have English. There is a standard edition and a collector's edition available. And our executive producers, Punky Dooster, Elissa, and Instacritic have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, the imports. Remember guys, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider please using our Play Asia links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you click those links and buy something, it also supports Let's Get Physical series like more than you could possibly know. You guys are wonderful, and really thank you ever so much. Plus, in return for using our links, you can get a nice 5% off any physical item from Play Asia if you use our current discount code STEENBOK. Although that is running out at the end of this month. We will have a new code in October. Although I say about this code, actually Play Asia currently have like a promotion going on with 10% off any Asian English Switch game. So yeah, our code probably won't work for most of them this week. But yeah, if it's the week after, then maybe. But yeah, take advantage of that 10% off. 10% sounds good, right? Alright, this week, No Place for Bravery is releasing in Japan this week with English. This is a great looking action game that's speaking the words of Hyperlight Drifted to me. Actually, I will have a review of this later this week, and I will tell you, if you like hardcore action games that are more about the defensive than the offensive, you know, to take your time, whittle down enemies, then it's a good one. It has really amazing pixel art that tries to tell a strong story. There's no Western physical that's been announced so far, so import this if you're into this kind of game. Think Children of Mortar or Hyperlight Drifter and you're not too far off. Please watch my review. It's coming this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, one of those days. And our executive producers Brent McLean and Vey have chosen this as their pick of the week. Valis Collection II is releasing in Japan this week. Yeah, Limited Run have the English version pre-ordered this week, but if you don't need English in your side-scrolling action games, then fill your boots with this since it is out this week. You won't be waiting 6 months or a year for it. I'll probably grab this for a review for you guys. What do you think? Do you think I have time? I don't know if I have time, but maybe. Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival is releasing in Japan this week. Sadly, the Western physical is delayed until next month. So yeah, you can wait if you want to, or you can order this one, which is more of the same awesome drumming action. Sadly, it has a subscription service, which I find rather weird. You can get 76 songs on the cart and hundreds more on the service. Don't know why I just can't pay for them. Yeah, be generous, not greedy, please. My wallet doesn't like it. This includes new modes and stuff, so yeah, if you love Taiko, definitely pick up this one. And our executive producer Thorn Metal Luna has chosen this as his pick of the week. And there's also Juzengi Engatsu Sangokuden 1 and 2 that's releasing in Japan and does not have English, so yeah. Now, let's go Whole hog, it's a long video. Let's just blow it out, okay? Because there are some new import announcements. These are not releasing this week. This is just some new information about pre-orders to tell you about, to keep you updated. Get your pre-orders in. Take advantage of that 10% off the Asian English stuff. Firstly, Aviary Attorney is arriving physically later this year in Japan, and it does have English, and it's a reasonable price. If you've always wanted an Ace Attorney game with 19th century caricature art starring people with birds' heads, then look no further. It's actually supposed to be rather good, very enjoyable humor, and it's almost universally well received for what it sets out to do. It's fairly short, about 6 hours or so, and it'll leave you wanting more, but then who wouldn't want more animals wearing top hats and monocles? It's a law. They make everything better. Let's Play Oink Games releasing in Japan. This is a collection of 7 or so board games. At least that's what it looks like to me. They have English apparently, and that's all I really have to say about it. I don't have friends, so board games are a low priority for me when it comes to about knowing them. The Rumblefish 2 is an arcade fighting game from 2005 developed by Dimps. It's releasing in December physically on the Switch with English in a standard and collector's edition. Apparently the original game, Rumblefish 1, is getting a release as well, but it's a download code in the collector's edition of this game, which is weird. Whatever. I don't know much about fighting games, but this looks pretty badass. It's also called Rumblefish. What were they smoking? I love it. Rumblefish. It's like the Windfish, except they've had 6 pints of lager and they're ready for a rumble. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl Ultimate Edition is a re-release of the famous fighting game Wannabe, but now includes more content, more than the Western physical. I guess this updated version could come to the West as well, but we seem less likely to do that these days. Japan, oh, they love doing that shit. Alright, the community spotlight. Kraken sent in this photo showing off the lovely Phoenotopia from Premium Edition Games. Just a heads up that now we have restarted the affiliate partnership with Premium Edition Games, but I was waiting until they had a new pre-order to bring it up. But hey, I brought it up now, so yeah, if you want to order from them, check the link in the description. Psych Villain, thanks ever so much for the donation. They picked up these 3 games from Limited Run. That's some very classic box art for the Castlevania right there. I'm just hoping Intercrates does a double pack in Japan at some point for these games. Maybe a triple pack if there's a number 3. That would be nice. Peter Clark got in on the Otome hype with one of the more serious stories out there, Collar X Malice. That will go nicely hand in hand with the new Piofiore Otome. Silverhouse was one of many to pick up the OLED for Splatoon 3. I am very jealous, would love one of those, but I have to budget for Nintendo's next console, whatever that will be. Switch Pro, Switch 2, I don't know. Executive producer Instacritic picked up these games. That EX Zeus double pack is one that I really wanted, but still, it wasn't enough for me to give my money to Limited Run. Some dude called Juan, never heard of him, finally got in his delivery of the Turrican Collector's Edition, which was what, like 2 years in the making? Feels like a lifetime ago. Executive producer God Resin, thanks for helping us out with the Play Asia links, alongside being an executive, picking up some fantastic games in the process. I love the free CD that came with Dungeon Munchies, that art is hilarious. Executive producer Robotech also, big thank you for the double support on a couple of these games, 2 very recent imports, both very enjoyable indeed. They both might be fairly high on my best of years list. Executive producer Thorn Metaluna also got in a bag of imports. You guys are amazing. I love you. Hike.gu is a must-have for JRPG fans. Maybe not the best the genre has to offer, but still something that should be in your collection. Chewit picked up these games. Apparently he got in a massive bargain when it comes to Pode, 15 quid, which is remarkable in my opinion because it's a really nice collector's edition. Patrick picked up this bunch of games, including the uncensored version of Pocky and Rocky, really gorgeous looking game. Transient Image, my dude, thanks for using our links to pick up some of these titles. Some SD Gundam goodness, so much content, so much badassery. Frigidistic sent in this photo showing off a rather coveted title in Mistover. It's been delisted on digital stores, and the import that was once kind of meh has since become a collector's item. Funny how that works. Ventura sent in this photo with gifts from Japan. Man alive, I wish that Dragon Quest Musu double pack had English. I would love that in my collection. Executive producer Cartoon Soren sent in this a picture showing off the collector's edition of Made in Abyss, which got middling review scores, but apparently it's one of those games that you have to get over a hurdle before the real fun starts to begin. Irina sent in this photo, including Lair of the Clockwork God, which I've seen loads of with you guys. I'm surprised how popular it was in this community. If you missed out, it is available at Video Games Plus, links below in the description. Executive producer Elissa sent in this photo of 2 Gunvolt Chronicles games and the Samurai Spirits Neo Geo collection, the Japanese version, which I think is going pretty cheap these days. I don't know, last time I checked it was pretty cheap. But yeah, the Gunvolt games, really good. I love the second one so much. Great action title, one of my favorite imports of the year so far. Hudo picked up the latest Play Asia restocks, at least the second wave of them. If you were curious, Death Road to Canada was the biggest seller of the bunch, while very far at the bottom, to my surprise, was Bravery. It sold half as much as all the others, and I thought it was the most interesting one. What do I know? Alright, have a roundup. Choco Loco James. The One. Crimson Cloud Cowrie. Pabs. Robin Hatherall. Stephen Dummett. Pacer 1705. Mickey McFlynn. McLaren. Pitike. Vast Neon. Needless Dragon. Lunafire. Starvey. Buramurian. Alright, please send me your pictures on Twitter over at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. Email address SwitchWatchSpotlight@gmail.com, and a Discord. You can send your pictures in the submission section. The server link is below. Only send me 1 picture per week. If you send me 2 or 3, I'll just choose 1. Or I might just ignore you, I don't know. Alright, thank you to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Elissa, Punky Deucer, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metaluna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, They, Mental Traveler, Grant Surt, Viz, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Plague, and Kadacha. Plus you watching right now, yeah you. If you watched all the way through, you're a legend. Please leave me emoji. Oh, what do we got? Some dice in honor of Dicey Dungeons. Yeah, why not? Anyways, go check out VN Paradise for lots of VN reviews of the Otomes coming this week. Go to A Bit More Jordan for a lot more me. I released Silent Hill, the retrospective. Nobody watched it, it's fine, I understand. But yeah, I think it's good, so watch that if you have the time. I'm working on Skies of Arcadia right now, and I'm loving every bloody second of it. Honestly, Skies of Arcadia is just mwah. Oh god, stop thinking about it. Yeah, I need to focus. Focus! Can't play Skies of Arcadia right now because I'm working on No Place for Bravery, the review. It's coming tomorrow or Wednesday, one of those days. Depends how I feel. I'm under the weather, of course, because I started working, and I'm always under the weather when I'm working. So yeah, see you soon, I guess. Bye!